people like to say, Jiu-Jitsu saved my life. In my case, opening a school of Jiu-Jitsu almost took my life. I almost died for this. I paid the ultimate price, and good thing I'm still alive. So, I'm here to tell the story. This was 10 years ago, 2005 of September. I was affiliating with one guy from a gym, and basically I opened my gym up, and on the 30th day of it being open, apparently another group of BJJ guys, I guess they were planning for a while to get rid of me because they had an idea that I wanted to open a gym, and in this particular place there's a lot of politics with Jiu-Jitsu. So I opened my gym. I was thinking, okay, the most these guys would ever probably do is like, hey man, we don't want you teaching, maybe pick a fight with me. But this day in September, I was coming out of my gym, just got done training. I was still covered in sweat, going to my car, and then a van just pulled up, blocked my car, and about 10 to 15 guys came out of the car. I was just like, oh shit, I know exactly what this is. It's like, this is a hit. I was like, fuck, some of them had firearms, most of them had knives and bats and stuff, and pretty much it was an assassination. It was a hit to take me out. So I got stabbed 12 times, and these guys were hitting me with bats and all this stuff, and it was weird. It was like a CQB thing. We actually got in the car and we were fighting inside my car, and there was like 3 guys fighting me with knives, and it was weird. It was something like in the Matrix where it was slow motion. I was just paying attention to the blades. So I didn't really look at their faces. It was nighttime, so I wasn't concentrating, okay, I need to see what this guy looks like. It wasn't that. I was concentrating of surviving. So I think maybe Jiu-Jitsu somewhere there helped me, maybe. I still got stabbed several times. I almost died. I had a punctured lung, collapsed lung. I got hit in the liver. They tried to hit me in the femoral artery, which they missed. I would have been gone for sure if they hit me there. But yeah, I'm here right now. I'm very lucky. I believe that it just wasn't my time to go. I really thought I was gonna die. I was in the car. These 2 guys helped me out. They brought me to the emergency room, and I really thought it was my time. I was in the car laying down, just bleeding there, and I was telling them, what, close my wound here, I'm bleeding here. I could feel the air coming out of my lungs, from the hole in my back, and I was like, shit man, this is it, I'm gonna die. And I was really scared, and it was just something that I wouldn't want anyone else to go through, because it's a very horrible feeling. And after that, you really realize how valuable life is, and how short life is, and how easy it is to just, one day you're just gone, and then you're like, man, I didn't get to do all those things I wanted to do. I'm gonna die, man, For about 2 years, after this happened, I had really bad PTSD. I was on a lot of different medications, and I separated myself from all my family. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want anything to do with Jiu-Jitsu. And I was really mad. I was really angry about everything that happened because I didn't understand it. And in this particular country where it did happen, it seemed like, there was no justice, because these guys are still out there, After those 2 years, I felt that maybe, all the medication I was on, I was like, man, I don't think this is helping me. I don't think it's helping at all. So what I did is I pretty much just got rid of the medicine cold turkey. I just tried to deal with this issue on my own, and I think it was better without the drugs. I don't think we need the drugs. I think they don't really help you. I think that our mind is stronger than anything else. Well, after about 2 years, I started, seeing some friends. They were still training. They're like, hey man, you need to come back to Jiu-Jitsu. And I didn't reply to them. I didn't really want to have anything to do with it anymore. And one day, it was just one of those things. I was like, I got off the medication, and I was like, hey, I want to get back into Jiu-Jitsu. I want to rehabilitate myself naturally, without any drugs, without anything. And I came back slowly, come to the, training once in a while, and pretty much I rehabilitated myself. I've been off medicine for about 8 years now. I don't take any antidepressants or any of these downers that the doctors put me on. I got into firearms training extensively. I trained a lot with pistol, with rifle, and for a couple of years, that's all I was doing. When I wasn't training jiu-jitsu, I was just training extensively with pistol, with all different situations, training with, you know, some special forces guys, showing me different ideas. You know, I went to all different schools to have, you know, different ideas of what kind of training I could get. And after a couple of years of this, I eventually got, you know, a phone call from a friend. He's like, hey man, you want to work with the UFC, working executive protection? I was like, hey, that's, you know, pretty cool. For sure I would like to do it. So that's when I got my first taste of working in the executive protection field. The first big job we ever did was working with the chairman of UFC. We worked with Lorenzo Fertitta. They put me with Chuck Liddell, which was pretty cool. I was like, oh, I get to work with, you know, one of the big names in UFC, and it was a really good experience. After that, I mean, this whole incident that happened with me, I felt like I had some type of, something was compelling me to, like, even want to protect people, you know, and to prevent anything like that from happening to them, what happened to me.
Jeff worked for the UFC for 3.5 years and then got into the real action as a member of crisis response team for a big company in the United States. Meanwhile, he managed to get his black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. Now, he is really a well-rounded warrior, so I asked him if he regrets he didn't start with a different martial art before Jiu-Jitsu, so he could avoid the accident that happened to him a decade ago.
One thing I can guarantee you, no matter who you are and no matter how much skill you have in any martial arts, if you're fighting a group of guys that are trained with the knife, I guarantee you're gonna get cut, and you'll be lucky to leave that situation alive. Because most people that are in a knife fight, they end up dead, and that's a statistic. That's very true. So you see guys out there saying that, oh man, I can disarm this guy with a knife or with a gun or whatever, but yeah, I want to see you do it for real. You know, do it in front of a camera with a compliant adversary. Yeah, for sure you could do it. Do it against a guy that's really trying to kill you. I guarantee you're gonna get cut. If I could have run that day, I would have run. You know, I would have gotten out of there right away if I had the chance, but it just wasn't, that day it didn't happen. I had to pretty much defend myself at all costs, and I was luckily I came out of it alive. Life is just so short. You know, after that I try to stay as humble as possible. You know, I mean, the ego is that thing that just eats inside of you, but if you just try to control that and, you know what, put that aside, it doesn't matter. You know, just try to live your life in the best way possible, being, you know, good to your fellow man. You know, there's no need for us to kill each other. You know, it's bullshit. You know.
In meantime, keep a rifle in your car, just in case.
It's funny you say that. I used to do that. I had a lot of firearms with me after that situation, a lot.